This is breaking news, live from the Connect Del Rio studio with meteorologist Alexander Menchaca. And now, your weather alert. Here's a message from the National Weather Service. You're watching CDR 24 Severe Weather Center.
Hello everybody, this is meteorologist Alexander Menchaca. We are live here on Connect Del Rio CDR 24 studios, just providing you the latest weather information that is ongoing here in Val Verde County as we have our squall line front, a cold front finally moving on through. This is going to be a broadcast that is going to be lengthy. I am going to be providing on-site weather information for the local area, as well as giving you all caught up on what is going on here in Del Rio as well as in Val Verde County. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the chat. Willard Jenkins is going to be here with me for this whole entire, probably hour and a half as we're covering live footage on what's going on. We're going to go and show you a live radar scan of what is going on here in Del Rio and in Val Verde County. So a squall line is finally making its way into Val Verde County, and it is probably maybe minutes away from impacting Comstock. Right now, we have no warnings, which means that there is no indication of any, parameters that would indicate a severe thunderstorm or even a tornado. But this is a moderate to strong group of thunderstorms that is going to be moving through rather shortly. And we're just going to be looking at the details on that shortly. I'm going to be providing you some, just information on what is ongoing. So first, we're going to go ahead and show you what is ongoing and what is active as far as watches. So we can go ahead and look at the tornado watch for the local area. Let me get that set up for you. So currently right now we are under a tornado watch, and that tornado watch is covering not only Del Rio and Val Verde County, it is covering the county above us too, Edwards County right next to where Rock Springs is at, and a little bit of the southern plateau as well. But right now that tornado watch is active until 5 a.m. Right now, the good thing, looking at our radar right now, there is no active warning in that watch. The only active warnings that we are seeing right now are a little bit in the big country near San Angelo and a little bit up in the central portion of Texas. But as of right now, we're not seeing any active warnings on that watch zone as we speak. So let's go ahead and zoom in and let's look at where we are looking at more locally here in Del Rio. So like I said, that squall line is beginning to move on through, and it's roughly, let me get that kind of zoomed in for you. It is roughly about to enter Comstock. So if you are in the Comstock area, you are more likely going to be seeing rain probably in the next 2 or 3 minutes. That rainfall is going to be heavy to moderate. You're also going to see some maybe frequent lightning strikes as well. You also see, let me go ahead and just change it so I can kind of draw a little bit to show y'all. You also see this little boundary that is ahead in the Comstock area. That is an indication of what we call a gust front or maybe a shelf cloud. This is an indication that very strong winds are associated with this storm. They are not over the severe parameter, over 60 miles per hour, but probably 35, 40 mile per hour wind gusts, 50 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. Looking at our rotation in our velocity radar, the good thing right now is we are not seeing any tight couplets as far as possible tornadoes or rotation. Right now, just to give you kind of a little radar school lesson here, the green on this image, as you can see, is wind speeds that are going toward the radar, and red is wind speeds going away from the radar. So usually what we see is we like to see these tight little couplets. Whenever you see tight little couplets, that indicates rotation. So just to give you like an example, this right here would be an example of maybe some possible weak rotation, but nothing that right now that the National Weather Service is indication of a tornado or anything like that. But that's what we look at in this radar imagery. Right now, looking just overall around the local area, there happens to be just very minor rotation pockets, but nothing right now alarming at the moment. But as you can see in this image too, you can see a bunch of green, and those dark greens indicate wind speeds. Right now, looking, wind speeds look to be around the 38, 35 mile per hour range. So with this line of storms moving on through, you could expect, just relatively, strong winds with this storm that's associated. As well as, let's go ahead and look at probably the most important thing that everyone's probably worried about is hail. So let me get that 1 second. So right now, looking at our hydrometer classification image, and what this is it gives you a classification on what type of precipitation is in this storm. And as you can see, the green indicates very heavy rain. So this little light kind of probably pastel green a little bit is just indication of light rain. As you look at the darker green in this image, that indicates a little bit of heavier rain, moderate to heavy rainfall. The red, that's what we're going to look at right here. This is going to indicate hail. Right now, there is a hail pocket just maybe north of Comstock. That hail pocket right now is relatively weak. So we're probably looking at maybe penny size, probably less than half an inch of hail right now. But just the fact that there even is hail in this storm is something that you just want to keep an eye on. Because, if you happen to be outdoors, if you just have that new vehicle that's in the driveway, you still have time to move things through if you are in the Del Rio area. Del Rio, you are roughly about maybe 15, 20 miles away from this storm right now. So you still have time right now if you are in Del Rio and you are catching this live footage right now. You have time to kind of make preparations right now. This line of thunderstorms is roughly maybe about 30, 35 minutes away from Del Rio. But as you can see, we're already starting to get some development on the lower side of this line. And with this development, it could actually speed up that timeline towards Del Rio. So you do want to make sure you are being active at this moment. So let's go and look at that southern development real quick, because that actually, just as we are live here, is beginning to develop a little bit more solidly. So let's look into that. As well as go ahead and ask any questions that you may have here. I am going to be, like I said, this is going to be more of a lengthy broadcast here than we traditionally have here in our, severe weather coverage, as we're going to give you minute by minute coverage as this line moves on through. And we're even going to be probably looking too at our comments after the storm passes on through too. So if you have any videos, if you have any, information, please share it on the chat. But also too, I want to make sure that you guys are safe. Make sure that you are safe whenever you are doing this, because one of the biggest things that we are big on as a meteorologist is keeping everyone safe.
So we do have a couple questions. We have Danny Willis, who's asking what severe weather can we expect? And then we do have, I believe it is standby, Erica Christina, who's asking if there's a chance of hail in Del Rio.
Cool. So let's go ahead and talk about the potential severe chance right now for Del Rio area. So right now there is no active warnings for the Del Rio area, but we are looking at this southern development right here. Let me just go ahead and kind of circle this for you. Give me 1 second. This is the area right now that we're looking at for Del Rio. This is the southern edge of the squall line that is developing right just to the west of us. And just looking at right now at this part of the storm, give me 1 second. We are beginning to see a hail pocket develop right here on this storm, which is right now relatively small. When we see these hail pockets relatively small, it's just an indication that the storm does have hail in it. Right now, there is no, sizing that we can really see when we look at this imagery, but right now, penny size hail, probably hail smaller than, half an inch is possible. We're just gonna have to monitor this as it continues to move closer to Del Rio. But as of right now, we have no active warnings. One thing that besides hail that will be, something that you want to be aware of is wind. Wind is going to be probably around 30, 40 miles per hour, maybe even around the 50 mile per hour range in some of the strongest parts of the storm. and you want to be, just active on that, because I know that right now the main, story or the main concern would probably be that tornado warning, or I mean that tornado watch, excuse me, or that possibility of hail. But the wind could catch you off guard, so you do want to make sure that you are prepping for that. Right now, latest imagery is showing that Comstock is finally getting that heavy rain that's moving on through. Looks like we're starting to get to some more build around this squall line right here around the, looks like around maybe north of Box Canyon. If you are out by the lake right now, you are probably beginning to feel that wind and that rain too. So that's just an indication that this squall line is, moving on more south as we are continuing on this broadcast. Let me go and check what else is going on locally.
We do have Adrian Ibada just thanking you for what you're doing, and he's hoping that there's no hail or tornado.
Yes, right now. We appreciate y'all. Like I said, if you have any questions, continue throwing those out on that chat. Right now, we do not have any active warnings at all. There is no active severe thunderstorm warning, and there's no active tornado warning at all. We are under a tornado watch. That watch is gonna, maintain until 5 a.m. In my, opinion, as soon as this squall line moves on through, we can call that all clear. I believe that once this moves on through, we are going to be, completely clear as far as, severe weather. We are going to expect things to be relatively windy tomorrow. Tomorrow is looking like a beautiful day. We'll go more deeply in that once this line passes on through, but we are going to be, just providing you any kind of weather coverage as we continue to move on through.
And then we do have Erica Christina saying that Lions Park and Moore Park area campers seem to be planning for the weather. Should these individuals have start planning for the severe weather?
Yes, if you are, right now in Lions Park, if you are camping right now in any part of Del Rio, you want to start being, making precautions on taking some shelter right now. Regardless whether we get any severe weather, regardless if we get any hail, you want to be preparing for those winds. You want to be preparing for lightning. Lightning is going to be, a theme with this line that's going to move on through. And you just want to make sure you are safe. You still have some time right now. If you are watching this live right now, you have roughly, I would say, maybe about 20 more minutes here in Del Rio. This line, the southern line right now, is beginning to pick up speed, and it is beginning to move rather quickly into, looks like the Rio Grande area. Cienegas, your area, you're probably going to be the first people to feel that line when it moves on through, if this continues to move on to the east as it's going right now.
And then we do have Donald, who says 159 radar indicated arrival time, 1.5 radar indicated. I'm not too sure about that one. And I know Emeris Acevado asked any rotation.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that.
SBC
radar arrive time. So let's go and look at that arrival time for the radar. Radar scope does do a good, a little bit, of a guesstimate to show what the storm tracks will be, to show you more or less the arrival time of a storm. So we can go ahead and kind of take a look at that. Give me 1 second. So right now, currently, the arrival time for this storm is around 2 o'clock. I will let you know that Radar Scope does an amazing job. They do an amazing job on giving you products, giving you, the latest radar echoes, looking at hail and whatnot. Their storm tracks can be kind of iffy, so you want to make sure to take this with a grain of salt. Right now, it is indicating about maybe a 30-minute arrival time for Del Rio around the area, but you want to just make sure that you don't 100% rely on this storm tracker. Right now, let's go ahead and look at if there's a possibility of some hail. I know this is a kind of a rapid situation that we are going on through. Give me 1 second, and I'll go ahead and answer that rotation question shortly as well. Let's see. Let's look at some hail. Give me 1 second. So right now it looks like there is a little bit of a hail pocket, very weak though. This is showing still that radar return of a little bit of a hail pocket. Nothing alarming at the moment, but the fact that it is showing that right now is something that you want to not keep your guard away from. You do want to make sure that you are taking precautions right now. Let's go ahead and give you an idea of how far this storm is from Del Rio at the moment. Give me 1 second.
And while that's going on, Froilan says that she's from Cuidado Cunha, and that she says, I can see how the lightning comes and the thunders.
Sweet. So right now, this storm right here to Del Rio is about 13 miles away. So right now you are about under 10 miles away from maybe hearing that thunder, seeing that lightning. That is a great observation. Right now you are going to be seeing more intensely that lightning, beginning to show as the storm's moving on through. I know Emrys had a question on rotation. Let me go ahead and get that to you as well. Give me 1 second. So right now, looking at rotation, I know that we were talking about this earlier. Rotation looks weak across the whole board on this storm. If we're looking at this imagery, I know it looks really messy, right? And what we're looking at is we're looking at the green and the red, and we're looking at tight couplets of this. What the green signifies is that this is a wind going toward the radar, and the red is where we have winds going away from the radar. So when you have a quick, couplet and a tight couplet and a strong couplet of this, this indicates signs of rotation. Right now, it looks like maybe some possible, maybe weak rotation around the Comstock area on some of the boundaries of this storm, but nothing to be panicked on a possible tornado or nothing as of right now. We are going to be monitoring this as it continues to move more south, but as of right now, rotation looks relatively weak across the local area.
And then we do have Sabrina Gutierrez, who is asking if this is a fast-moving storm.
Let's go ahead and get an idea of how fast this storm's moving. Give me 1 second. Just get this kind of where you can see. Let's go ahead and look at how more or less the speed of this storm that radar scope is tracking. Give me 1 second. So storm is moving about toward the east at around 10 miles per hour. So it is relatively kind of like a slow storm. That is going to be a factor when it comes to rainfall. When we have these slow moving squall lines, they do produce a rapid amount of rain. That could be around, a quarter of an inch to half an inch. So like I said, if you are camping right now in Del Rio, if you are outdoors right now, you want to take in count of two things: the wind, the lightning, and possibly the rainfall. Yes, the hail is going to be the big picture, right? That's the one thing that we're all worried about. Also, to the possibility, since we're under that tornado watch, but do not, forsake that rain, that lightning, and that wind. Those things can cause problems too if you happen to be outdoors.
And then we do have a question from Alexandra Ale. She says, just hopped on, any hail in Del Rio?
Awesome. So let's go ahead and check right now our possibilities of some hail. Right now, there is no active severe thunderstorm warning for the local area, which is good. That means that we are not anticipating any hail larger than an inch as of right now. Right now, looking at our, just eyeballing the radar, Comstock all the way into the northern portions of the county, even towards Rock Springs. Right now, you are looking at a traditional squall line, which is going to be some good news because that's going to be, heavy to moderate rainfall, lightning, and wind. Something that, that's going to be very welcome because we do want that rain that can be coming in through. The most active part that I'm seeing right now on radar is going to be the southern part right here, the southern development. Right now, this is probably the best shot of possible hail that would be moving through Del Rio. And let's go and look at our latest, radar imagery to see if that hail pocket is, strengthening or just maintaining its light returns. So right now, this hail pocket right here that we're looking at, the storm right next to us, is holding on through. It does not look like right now it is past an inch as far as severe parameters go, but it is possibly showing maybe about half an inch to a quarter. So very small hail, pea-sized hail is probably possible with this storm. This storm right now is about 10 miles away from Del Rio. We got to look and see if this holds on through. It's very popular that these storms right here are massive when they're in Mexico, and as soon as they cross the border, they lose that strength and whatnot. So you want to just keep an eye on this. You do have some time, like I said. You do have roughly about 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes if you are in Del Rio, just to be prepared on the safe side if you are worried about hail. Appreciate all the comments and all the questions. Go ahead and keep on rolling them through. We're going to continue just to provide you live weather coverage. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more in detail just to kind of show you maybe where the areas that are being impacted and maybe what's next if you are watching the local area. Comstock, right now it's going to zoom in a little bit that area. So Comstock, you are probably already in the safe zone. You are probably receiving good, healthy, moderate rainfall, and you're probably maybe about 30 minutes to 40 minutes away from rainfall beginning to decrease. It looks like your severe chances and whatnot is going to begin to decrease. If we look toward the Del Rio Box Canyon area, Box Canyon, you are probably hearing that rumble of thunder. You're probably getting that moderate rainfall. Most of the rainfall is staying toward the south of Box Canyon. And the Lakeview area, you're probably going to be next on receiving some rain. This storm is probably knocking on your doorstep. You're probably seeing some lightning and some maybe a few rumbles of thunder. But Lakeview, you are on the next part of getting some rainfall as well. So I got some actually live update here as we are, beginning our segment here. The National Weather Service right now has issued a special weather statement for Del Rio, including the Lakeview area, because of this storm right here. This storm has the possibility of producing nickel-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds. The special weather statements do not get the beautiful little polygon where you see like that warning area, but they do give you the notification that there is the possibility of nickel-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds with this storm right now. This special weather statement is active until 2:15. So right now, if you are in the parks, if you are outdoors, you want to make your necessary precautions right now. You do have about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you start to feel the impacts of this storm. Like I said, right now, what are the factors right now, the hazards? 50-mile-per-hour winds are possible. Nickel-sized hail is possible. You're probably going to start hearing the rumbles of thunder. You're probably going to start feeling the wind speeds when they move on through, and not to mention the heavy rainfall.
So we've got a question from George Rubio. He's asking what's going on. How is that storm is trying to bend?
So George, giving a good aspect here, he's looking at the possibility of the storm beginning to try to rotate. So let's go ahead and look at the southern portion of this storm and see what our velocity looks like. The good thing right now is that our velocity looks relatively weak. There's no indication of a tight couplet of rotation or whatnot. But typically when you start getting these storms that move through from Mexico, as well as that have the possibility of a hail core, you see them try to maintain some supercell characteristics. Right now that's not the case right now, but we are going to be monitoring that. We are going to be monitoring that quickly. This storm still has, like I said, maybe about let's go ahead and see. Let's see how close the storm is. This storm still has about 12 miles away from Del Rio. Now, the key thing about this storm is going to see if it slows down. A lot of these times when these storms try to gain muster to be, a severe supercell or whatnot, they slow down a little bit just to try to, straighten them up right before they move on through. So these next couple minutes are going to be very interesting for the Del Rio area. But like I said, if you are outdoors or if you are, camping right now is the time to make preparations. You want to make sure that you are getting your family safe. You are hankering anything that maybe could be blown away with that wind, as well as anything that could get, bothered by that rain. That rain is going to be moving on through. You are going to be hearing those rumbles of thunder and lightning, and you'll probably be able to see that already as you happen to be outdoors. And already, like I said, those wind speeds are relatively strong right now. Even without the rain, we had roughly about 50 or about 40, 35 mile per hour wind gusts right now currently around the local area. So keep those questions going. We, like I said, are going to be active with you until this system moves on through. And after this system moves on through, we'll go ahead and see what, any comments, any, videos you may have, or even too, we'll look at some rainfall totals. We are going to be welcoming in that rain. We're going to be hopeful that that rain gets a good chunk of Del Rio. But we also want to make sure you're safe and it's not bothering you as well.
So we did get a comment from Fernando Castillon Jr. He says Weather Channel site /app shows the red kind of trailing east, essentially right above Del Rio text, and appears to keep more north. That what you're seeing, or is the red going to through all of town?
So it is looking like on this latest radar scan that this storm is moving toward the east, probably southeast. So I am anticipating the majority of this core of this storm to move on through. It is gonna, these storms are very, how can I say, they are ones that you want to make sure you are monitoring minute by minute. So we're really glad that we're doing this for you as well. These next couple minutes, if you are looking at where that hail core will move on through or where the heaviest pocket will move on through, that's going to be determined within the next probably 15 minutes. But this storm is going to be moving on through the Del Rio area. And the good news is that just eyeballing right now, it looks like some of the latest scans show some of that hail core may be diminishing. Sometimes that happens when this storm moves on through. They lose a little bit of muster as they get into the Rio Grande area. Can go on a huge topic on how that happens because of the effect of, a big water source near these storms. But we're going to go ahead and see, like I said, how this storm acts as it moves on through. But the more important thing is, I believe, let me go and zoom on in so you can see. Looks like around the Cienegas area, you are probably starting to feel some rain, or this system begins to move on through. So if you are in the Del Rio area, if you are in the Lakeview area, you are probably minutes away from feeling, the rainfall and the official, initial part of this squall line as it moves on through.
So we do got quite a few comments to update you on. So one of them is from Betsy Sarai Montes. She's asking, how long will the rain last for those of us at the lake area? And then I guess we've got quite a few to go through, so I'll start with that one.
So how much will rain, last around the Lakeview area? I want to say it's probably going to be around 30, 40, 50 minutes. This storm, it looks like it's already getting near the Lakeview area. I just got a comment already on my phone that lightning and thunder is beginning to be heard around the city. So once you start hearing that, you know that storm's already getting ready to move on through. Rainfall is probably, like I said, going to last probably around 40 to 50 minutes. Lakeview, you are now about to get that first initial, force of that storm moving on through. The good news right now is that it looks like there's no severe weather parameters. Let me go ahead and check for hail around that local area. Just give me 1 second. Looks like Lakeview, you are not really in that hail, core area, but just to let you know, this storm is now starting to strengthen in hail. The National Weather Service, when it comes to storms that are in around Mexico, will not issue a severe thunderstorm warning or anything like that until it crosses into U.S. territory. But the fact that the storm is already indicating to you that it is strengthening in hail is something that you want to keep an eye on. The white part is the one thing that we want to look at. Those pinks show, the possibility of hail beginning to form. Once you start seeing this white right here on this radar image, you are starting to see a more bigger density of the radar is picking up. It's picking up the density of the object, and the wider they are, the more dense that object is in the cloud.
So we've got multiple comments rolling in. I'm going to read you two of them. Fernando Castillon Jr. is saying rain and hail is whatever. Tornado, though, is a whole different story. And then we got another one from Alexa Martinez, who is saying, hi, I'm by Valverde area. Will it be bad in the Valverde area?
So right now, let's go ahead and talk about the tornado question. Right now, just looking at our velocity radar. Give me 1 second. Sorry about my fingers there. Right now, looking at the velocity, I know this looks very messy. I know it looks kind of out of the ordinary, but I'm going to kind of explain this to you. So this right here is where our storm's at, right? So these greens, what they indicate, and I'm going to go ahead and play this so you can see. These greens indicate that the wind speeds of the storm, the wind directions of the storm, is going towards the radar. The radar is located on Highway 90, right between Del Rio and Uvalde. So this is indicating that that storm is going straight over there, right? What we want to look at is for tight radar couplets of red. So let me give you, there really is no, red indications around this storm. If we had a tight couplet of red around the storm, that would indicate a possible rotation. Right now, we don't see that at all in this storm. So right now, it looks more of just like a straight line wind and a hail threat. So The next question I think I had was about Valverde Estates. Right now, let's go ahead and see what the loop is looking like. This storm right now, if it continues, is going to go straight through the Del Rio area. And if it does, it is indicating the possibility of some hail. Right now, it is roughly about maybe 5 miles away from the U.S. Border. And if it maintains, I wouldn't be shocked if they were to issue a severe thunderstorm warning just because of the hail potential on the storm. So these next 10 minutes are going to be very vital for areas in Del Rio if you're worried about hail. But the good thing, as I said, is 10 minutes is a lifetime if you are trying to get prepared. If you are in the Del Rio area, if you're outside in the park, if you're barely tuning in and that vehicle's out in, outside, or you need to move that vehicle to get it more safe, just to be on the safe side, you want to do that right now, make those preparations right now.
So we do got quite a few comments to go through. Froilan says that here on this side of Mexico, the gusts of winds are already beginning. Lisa Pardo did say, thank you, Alex. And then I'm going to read another question. Oh, this one's another one. Marcia Zartucci says, thank you for keeping us informed. And Celeste Morales is saying, I can see the lightning here at Eagle Pass Hill. And Betsy is saying, it sucks for us camping at the lake.
So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, it's a complete honor to be able to inform you. This is the vision that, Willard Jenkins, I know he's the man behind the scenes, that me and him, we were able to provide to you. And we're very, very, honored to do that for you. As far as, what is going on, you're starting to hear that those lightning strikes, those thunder rumbling in. North side of Del Rio, you are going to be feeling the first blunt of the storm, right? If you are in the south side near the Eagle Pass Hill, around the Ruben Chavira area, you are starting to see the storm beginning to move on through. So like I said, the northern portion of Del Rio, you are probably going to be feeling this storm first. Those wind speeds, I know that someone commented about that. That's going to be probably being felt already in Del Rio. You are probably feeling that initial burst of wind. And that is the one thing that I was talking about, that when these storms move on through, they pack a punch with wind when they move on through. So that's the one thing, if you are camping right now or if you're outdoors, you want to prep right now that wind is probably going to be increasing rather roughly right now.
And we do have another comment. Danica Ramos is saying, hopefully no tornado. Let me check through these. Arnulfo Alderete says we would like some rain, but no hail. Taylor Ann is asking for no hail, please. And Nidia Fernandez is saying thank you for the up-to-date information.
Absolutely. If you are a fan of rain right now, Lakeview area, Box Canyon area, portions out in Highway 90 north of Del Rio, you are getting the most healthiest rain that you can right now. You are getting healthy, a moderate to heavy rainfall. There's probably no hail at all in this area that my hand is indicating right here. What the hail area is going to be right here in this area where you see these pinks embedded in the storm. This is what we're looking at right now. This is the portion right now that it looks like it is continuing to go east, but it is beginning to dive towards the southeast. So we're hoping that it may track a little bit south toward Del Rio and just avoid the main core of Del Rio. But you also just want to be careful and play it on the safe side. You want to make sure that you are making those preparations right now.
So we do got another comment from Erica Christina. She's asking, are hail pockets growing or staying the same? We're weathering the storm. I assume they're talking about camping, but getting nervous, LOL. And then Elizabeth Denby says that she lives on 12th Street, sitting outside, no wind, a lot of thunder, and lightning.
So the good news on that hail pocket, the last radar imager that we had showed a real bright white pocket here. That white pocket indicated, a high density object that's in the storm. The latest radar image shows that hail pocket is decreasing. Like I said, if you want to play it safe, you want to make sure you're making preparations now, right? I always like to be safe than sorry, on these storms, especially in May and in April, where the environment is so moist and so all the dynamics are there for really, strong storms to be in Del Rio. But as of right now, it looks like that hail pocket did diminish. Now, does that mean that hail's completely out of the story? No, that does not mean that. That means that the hail is probably, a little bit smaller, probably half an inch, maybe penny size, a pea size. if it's maintaining. But one thing that I want to stress is that this storm still has a little bit of time before it reaches Del Rio. So you're still not out of the woods if you are worried about hail. But as of right now, we have no severe thunderstorm warning, indication of hail greater than an inch, and nothing like that. We do have that special weather statement, right, that's still active for Val Verde County, and that's around the Del Rio area, the Lakeview area, which indicates the possibility of nickel-sized hail. So hail still in the picture, not as big as we saw earlier in our latest returns, but it's still in the picture. You just want to be on the safe side.
And before I read this next comment, we just want to shout out our advertisers advertising with us, Valverde Regional Medical Center and Comfort Tech Service Now. The next comment is coming from Emeris Acevedo. She's asking, how long is this storm going to last, or when is it going to be out of the Del Rio vicinity?
So we're looking at, let's go ahead and look exactly where this storm is entering. Just give me 1 second. So Cienegas, that's what I was going to show you right now. The Cienegas area, you are, moments away from feeling that storm, as well as, let me go ahead and show our location. Give me 1 second. If you are around the high school area, the Cantu Street, you are about to feel that rain as well. That rain is just about to move through your area as well. So rainfall is just about to enter the Del Rio vicinity. Thinking that this storm is probably going to last maybe about 50 minutes, close to an hour. It is slowly moving. It is a huge squall line. If I can kind of zoom out and show you just how massive this squall line is in Texas. So this squall line is not only impacting Val Verde County, but it's stretching all the way through Oklahoma City, all the way into the northern midsection of the United States. So this system is pulling a cold front moving through the whole state of Texas, and it is moving things relatively slow. So I'm thinking that maybe about 50 minutes to an hour's time frame before we feel no rain at all. Of course, you're probably going to feel a little bit of drizzle at the end of the storm, but I want to say the time frame is going to be around 50 minutes.
And then we do have a couple of other questions. Donald saying radar indicated indicated mesocyclone, no indication of TVs. 1.25 inch hail, radar indicated 10 knot Yeni. And then Diego Cadena is saying, let's go.
So looking at that the indication of a mesocyclone, that right now I'm looking at my radar app as well. It's just showing that hail core area. Mesocyclone is something that indicates, possibility of severe thunder, of a supercell. Also, that can indicate, possible tornado or a very intense hailstorm. This storm, usually when we get squall lines, we don't really, worry too much about mesocyclones. Now, we had a storm that was ahead of a cold front and was just by itself completely. That's what we would worry more of, those intense mesocyclones. Right now, there's nothing too alarming except for this just hail core right here that looks like it's just continuing that nickel-sized hail if possible.
So we do got quite a couple of questions on the same topic. Michelle Rodriguez is asking, are we expecting any hail? Doris De Luna is saying that it's currently raining in Cienegas. And Diego Cadena is asking us to check the hail pocket again.
So right now you are experiencing rainfall in Cienegas, probably moderate to heavy rainfall. Right now here too on Cantu Street, where Del Rio, our studios is at, we are beginning to see that moderate to heavy rainfall moving on through. That rainfall is going to be increasing in the next few minutes. The hail core, if I can zoom in on my image right here, let me just get a good view of my image before I explain. Give me 1 second. Let's go and look at that hail core. Hail core has weakened and has shrunk compared to the last image for sure. And that is continuing to verify here. That hail core is continuing to shrink and is completely a lot weaker compared to it was a few, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. So not going to say that we're completely out of the woods of hail, but probably if there's anything here, it's going to be pea size or very, very small. Nothing, alarming. Maybe some isolated, nickel size could be possible, but nothing, bigger than half an inch to an inch. We are beginning to hear some rain outside of our studio here too.
So we do got a couple more comments coming in. Erica Christina is saying so far just lightning, thunder, lightning, and gusts of wind at Lions Park. Alexandra Ale is saying it's raining in the Buena Vista area.
Cool.
And Adrian Garcia is saying just started raining in Chaparral Hills. And Danica Ramos is saying so far just thunder and lightning in Valverde.
We appreciate all the reports that your reports help us here know what is going on in the city. So please keep those things coming. Like I said, right now it does look like healthy rainfall. It looks like healthy rainfall is beginning to move on through. It even begins to see that those pink returns beginning to diminish, which is a good sign if you're worried about hail. But wind, rain, and lightning and thunder are gonna be beginning to increase. I believe you can even hear that rainfall smoothly beginning to move on through as the central part of Del Rio is now beginning to get that feel of that squall line moving on through.
We got a couple of updates from more community members. George Roman Rubio is saying it keeps trying to hook. Erica Christina is saying raining starting now at Lions Park.
So looking at the indication of storm trying to hook, I don't really see. I see a little, portions of this storm trying to flirt around with a hook. But right now, looking at velocity imagery, there's really no indication of any couplets. Rainfall is gonna be continuing and beginning to increase around the Lions Park area and the areas that people are camping. You want to just make sure you are prepared for that heavy rainfall, and you want to make sure you are getting all those electronics, everything that's on the floor that you don't want to get damp. That's going to be an issue for the next 30-40 minutes.
Okay, and we got 2 updates from John Ray Alderete. He says it's starting to rain in the San Felipe area, and he also sent another update saying he can hear hail on his roof in San Felipe as well.
Cool. Let me go ahead and look at that area real quick.
And he's saying it sounds like pea-size hail.
Yes, so there is going to be parts of this storm that may have very small hail. There's no indication of anything large or anything damaging. I know pea-size hail can still be damaging in certain aspects, but nothing to where I believe the National Weather Service is going to be prompted to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like pea-size hail is going to be a possibility. On the southern portion of the storm, it looks like more of those echo returns are here across right around the border, around near the Cienegas area too. But it looks like more heavy rainfall is going to be the main thing here that's going to be entering Del Rio, which we all are going to really welcome with an embrace, as we've been really needing that rain for in the Del Rio area. Let's go and look at some areas around here. So Lakeview, you are in the middle of this storm, meaning that you are relatively the severe threat or severe possibilities are beginning to diminish around that area, as well as in the Box Canyon Comstock area. You are already beginning to feel the exit of this line moving on through. So I'm assuming I'm really anticipating that once this line moves on through, the National Weather Service will more likely cancel the tornado watch for Valverde County, because this was the main threat that they were looking at. So Comstock area, Box Canyon area, portions out by the lake, you are probably feeling the last bits of this line that moves on through.
Now we do got a couple more updates coming in. Nidia E. Fernandez is saying that there is hail in the Ceniza Hills area. Froilan is saying here in Acuña it is already starting with the showers, but at times they stop in a few moments.
So let me see if I can get any indications of if you will have any hail comments. Like I said, you want to be on the safe side, but if you can see any type of hail, please let us know. I know someone had just let us know that it looked like that it was possibly like pea size or penny size. Please, you maybe just comment on what you're seeing. Even if you have a picture, that'd be great. But you want to make sure you are safe. I want to make sure that your safety is a priority as well. But let's go and look and see if we have any imagery on some hail.
And Criselda Valdez is just wishing everyone a happy Easter and keep safe, fabulous people.
So it looks like maybe some hail will be possible on the southern portion of the storm. There is a possibility that the southern portion of the storm may move just to the south of Del Rio. It looks like the heaviest rainfall is occurring around the Cienegas area, probably areas in San Felipe. It probably may be very hard to distinguish between very large rain droplets and hail. If you are hearing that and hearing that outside in your roof. But if you happen to see any physical hail, falling, please send those videos to us. That way we can report to the National Weather Service as well, and just provide more accurate and live footage for you as well.
Ricardo Venegas is saying that the Indian reservation is getting really good heavy rain.
Yes, that's going to be the one highlight right now, and we'll wait for this storm to kind of maybe push on a little bit through before we start looking at possible rainfall totals. But the good thing is that this squall line is producing not only healthy rain, but it is producing healthy rain all across the county. This massive squall line is not only producing rain in Del Rio, it's producing rain around the local the Lakeview area, out by I believe the Devil's River, around the natural park. Real awesome area if you ever get a chance to see it. But this healthy rain is just pretty much impacting the whole entire county. It looks like we're starting to hear some of that wind too. Wind gusts are going to be coming in on and off around 30-40 miles per hour as well.
So we've got quite a few updates going on here. Marcia Zertuche is saying South Del Rio by Las Vacas Road is starting to rain bad, but it seems like she's happy about it. Adrian Rodriguez is thanking you for these updates. Ramona Ramirez Rodriguez says Valverde area just thunder and lightning right now. And Ricardo Venegas sent us 50 stars. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and look at more the Valverde area and also the Lofton Air Force Base area. Valverde Estates, you are barely getting the the first initial force of this squall line. You are about right here.
And you're right. Ramona just said right now that it is now raining in the Valverde area.
So Valverde Estates, you are finally feeling that first initial wave of that rain moving on through. Lofton Air Force Base, you still have a little bit of time before that rain moves on through. You're probably feeling that wind. Lofton's more or less around right here. So you and that area is going to be receiving rainfall shortly.
And we got quite a few updates coming in as well. Fernando, stand by. Fernando Castillon Jr. saying rain starting just now by the landfill. Troy Lan is giving an update saying that a friend is telling her on the other side of Acuña that hail the size of a small inch is falling. Donald also says few taps from either heavy rain or drops or very light hail east Del Rio. And Nidia is saying just pouring rain, windy Ceniza Hills.
So we're talking about that hail in Acuña. So that hail is actually right here. As you can see, you're starting to see the radar picking up a few echoes of some pink shades here. As you can see, I can maybe zoom in a little bit so you can see that part. 1 second. So that's about right here. This is actually the hail core that they are experiencing right now. Very small, very, very probably pea size or whatnot, but it's, pretty cool that the radar is, picking up these little hail pockets. It's real difficult sometimes for the radar to pick up small hail pockets. Large hail pockets are very easily for the radar to pick up, but that's really, really, awesome that, we have technology to do that. We hope that area is safe. Looking at that hail core is probably not going to last too long, but you want to make sure you are safe if you are in that area. Rainfall is just widespread around Del Rio at the moment. Cienegas, you are getting the heaviest rainfall right now around that area. East Del Rio, you are experiencing the heavy rainfall as well. It looks like around downtown Del Rio is beginning to experience heavy rainfall as well, but healthy rain is occurring all over Del Rio. It looks like right now that it's more in the eastern portions of Del Rio. Valverde Estates, maybe portions out by Highway 90, you are maybe feeling a few sprinkles, but that squall line is going to be moving through your area in the next few minutes as well.
And so we've got a lot of people joining in and a lot of people commenting and sharing updates. Thank you all so much for that. John Ray Aldereta is saying it's pouring in San Felipe by Lions Park. Sherry Marr is asking, are we under a tornado warning or tornado watch? Erica Christina is saying pouring, LOL, hope our tent holds up. And then our morning news anchor, Michelle Gonzalez, is saying thank you for the live update. Heavy rain continues in the reservation area.
So right now we are under tornado watch, but there is no active tornado warning. There is no severe thunderstorm warning. Our severe, parameters and then there is nothing around this squall line that is indicating any chance of severe. We are just having a few light, hail pockets in the area, but I know that just looking at our reports and just looking at radar returns, looking like penny-sized hail, real small. Um, Rainfall is widespread around Del Rio. It looks like on the latest radar scan here, it looks like the whole squall line around this area is beginning to weaken a little bit. So we may be seeing, rainfall beginning to slowly begin to taper away. But if you are in the park, if you're anywhere in Del Rio Park in camping, you are experiencing moderate to heavy rainfall, and that rainfall is probably going to last another 30-40 minutes. So if you are out in the park and you're thinking that you want to hide over in your tent, you want to make sure you're probably going to get some shelter just to make sure this thing passes by. It is going to be relatively windy once this thing passes by, but the good news is that once this squall line moves on through, looks like we're going to be done with rain for the next day as well.
Okay, so we got quite a few more comments coming in. Fernando saying, "Here comes the rain." We've got Emily Cortez saying, "Very heavy rain" by Gio. Doris de Luna is saying, "It's pouring in Cienegas." Danica Ramos is saying, "Finally raining in Valverde." And Catherine's Creation Company is saying, "It's pouring in the Buena Vista area." Froilan is also saying, "Outside my house, it is quiet. It's already hailing. And from what I see, it's the size of a small 50-cent coin."
Cool, cool. So we are getting some reports of maybe some, nickel size, penny size hail in certain areas of the squall line. Nothing to prompt a severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. Like I said, the only thing that looks like, possibility of some hail, it looks like the southern portion of this squall line, but that looks to be around the Acuña area, maybe south of Acuña now. Maybe some heavy returns right here in South Del Rio, but it looks like nothing hail-wise. But let's go ahead and just kind of double check that area. Looks like you're starting to see some pinks around that area as well. So let's go ahead and check that out. Give me 1 second. It doesn't really look too, big for the radar to indicate any sort of, large hail, but maybe some penny size, pea size could be possible.
Donald's just saying, possible pea-sized hail east Del Rio and heavy rain.
Yeah, and that's probably this pocket right here that I was looking at right here. You're starting to see some pink returns around this local area. This could be the indication of some possible pea-sized hail. And that's probably what that area is experiencing right now. Very, very isolated pockets, and you're not looking to see anything, bigger or whatnot around this local area. We appreciate you guys following. Like I said, to keep those comments rolling. Not only does it help us here provide information, but it helps all our viewers as well. So rainfall is still a little bit of Valverde Estates. You are beginning to get that moderate rainfall as well. That squall line's barely beginning to move through your area. Lofton Air Force Base, you have not gotten rainfall just yet, but it is on your doorstep. You should be beginning to see that rainfall maybe in the next 5-10 minutes. It looks like Valverde, on that latest radar scan, looks like Valverde Estate's now getting hammered with rain as we speak.
Just want to acknowledge, because the viewers can probably hear, but I know you can hear a lot of rain pour in the background. It's pouring over here at the Connect Del Rio studios as well.
We'll take a look at those possible radar totals in a second. We just want to make sure that this system is completely out of the Del Rio area before we give you, any, indication of what possible rainfall totals we're seeing. Just eyeballing and hearing things right now, it looks like 1/4 of an inch is going to be possible around the whole city of Del Rio, which is going to be awesome. I know this is an area that's been yearning for some rainfall.
Adrian Rodriguez is asking if we do this often. He just gave us a follow. And Crystal Valdez is saying, watching this at the time. Oh, Froilan, the hail ended here. You can only hear the rain getting a little heavy from the small winds. And that's what we have right now.
Awesome. Yes. If you are following on CDR24, hit that follow button. If you want to follow Del Rio weather alerts, we are trying our best to provide you with the latest weather information, not only for the city of Del Rio, but for the whole county. That is one thing that one of our big things that we're doing here in Connect Del Rio, as well as rainfall is continuing around the local area. It looks like I said, we're about halfway through the squall line moving through Del Rio, looking like maybe another 30-40 minutes of rainfall before we're completely set. As far as tornado watch, I think you're relatively set around this area, meaning that we are probably in the safe zone now. Areas that are south, Highway 277 going south, you are about to get rain as well, and you're probably beginning to see a little bit of a higher radar return here of possibly maybe small hail. If anyone that's lives just south of Highway 277 south of Del Rio, heading toward Eagle Pass, that's area is going to be relatively an area that's probably going to see some strong rain as well in a few minutes. So it looks like around the Lakeview area, you are beginning to clear up. It looks like that rainfall is going to begin to start tempering down. So like I said, once this line moves on through, severe chances are going to begin to diminish, probably completely to zero. I'm anticipating that the National Weather Service, once this line moves on through, is more likely going to cancel that tornado watch that we're currently under till 5 a.m. If we can get some maybe live rainfall totals, I know that's probably something that everyone's anticipating. Let's go ahead and see right now. Right now, I mean, we're currently experiencing that storm move on through the local area, but let's go ahead and look at some possible totals that are going on for the local area. Give me 1 second. This was at
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I can maybe send it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. From George Rubio. We appreciate you, George. I just got your picture of some penny-sized hail. Gonna give you some pictures of that to show for Connect Del Rio. Appreciate that. Give me 1 second.
And we just want to thank Adrian Rodriguez for sending 99 stars.
So let's look at rainfall totals. Of course, we have the storm ongoing right now, so these rainfall totals are going to continue to update. But let's give you just an idea of what totals we're looking at right now. Give me 1 second. So it looks like around the Cienegas area, you are right now currently at around half an inch of rain. That is awesome. You're starting to see areas in Del Rio receiving half an inch of rain. City of Del Rio, we're talking about downtown Del Rio, right center downtown Del Rio. Radar is indicating around a quarter of an inch, which is still healthy. Lakeview area, you are looking at about half an inch of rain, which is completely awesome too. Around the lake area too, about half an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch is possible as well. And as this system begins to move on through Del Rio, we'll start looking at more of the radar totals for the local area. This is actually a picture sent by George Rubio. We want to appreciate you, George, for not only tuning in, but providing us with this picture, an aspiring meteorologist as well. So this is a picture of penny-sized hail that occurred a little bit in South Del Rio, a little bit toward the winery area. Just an indication of maybe that hail pocket that move on through Del Rio, but very, very, very small hail, if possible, that did fall around the Del Rio area. If you have any pictures of any, storm reports, lightning, anything like that, send them our way. We'll go and give you a shout out as well and be, showing it on our live feed as well. We appreciate you, George. Thank you.
So we do got a couple comments coming in. Froilan is saying, well, only the moderate rain continues here and at times it stops, and the hail that fell seems to have lost strength that melted in a short time. Alaska Hernandez is saying we're getting lots of rain on Eagle Pass Hill as well.
So Eagle Pass Hill, let's go and look at that area real quick. So Eagle Pass Hill, you're going to be on the south side here at Del Rio. That's going to be around this area right here. You are getting the heaviest rainfall as well. And it looks like Laughlin Air Force Base, you are finally feeling that first initial wave of that squall line beginning to go through. Heavy rain is only going to continue for Laughlin. It looks like there's no hail pocket. It looks like maybe a small one here to the south of Del Rio. That's going to be continuing to move on east. But Laughlin Air Force Base looks like healthy, heavy rainfall is going to be moving through your area shortly.
A couple of other comments coming in. Lala de la Cruz is saying Valverde wind is strong. And Eduardo Enriquez is asking if we can say, or you can say anything, to calm his storm anxiety about the storm. And he's here in Del Rio, Texas. And one more thing, Zenaida Jimenez is getting lots of rain in Valverde Park.
Yeah, let's go and look at Valverde Park. Right now, they're getting the initial heaviest rainfall. It looks like the heaviest rainfall right now is occurring in southern Del Rio, probably near that Eagle Pass Hill area, as well as East Del Rio near Valverde Park and Valverde Estates. Along Highway 90, you're right now experiencing the most heaviest rainfall. It looks like no indication of any hail at all, but just healthy, heavy rainfall for the local area. And just to, I know that the whole, what can I say, the whole tornado watch may have caused a lot of people to be, a little bit fearful, a little bit worried about what's going on. I can assure you that there's no tornado warning, there's no severe thunderstorm warning, there's no parameters of any sort of severe weather, just good, healthy rain and a good squall line that's giving us some good rainfall here in Del Rio.
Just some updates. Gabriela Nava is saying that it is light rain right now in Cienegas, and let me make sure there's nothing else. No, that's it for right now. We have that update from Gabriela.
So Cienegas, thank you for giving us that update. Let me go ahead and show. You are finally feeling the end of the squall line. So you are beginning to feel the end of this rain. It looks like rain may be going to linger maybe about 10-15 more minutes. The city of Del Rio downtown, you are in the tail end of the squall line. You're probably going to feel rain ending in about 20-30 minutes. That's also going to be the areas in the park. If you are in the areas of the park, rainfall is set to probably end in the next 20-30 minutes. And you're going to basically maybe be done for the night. You're not going to have to worry about any sort of rain. You're just going to have to worry about that wind and maybe some damp areas and some puddles around the local areas, for at least for the morning portion.
Froilan, I believe she's in Acuña. She said, "Well, it's finally moving away from the city, and it seems that if it was a bit strong. That where I live, there is a small river, and at the moment, it has some strength."
So it looks like some areas right now, just preliminary, looking at the radar totals, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. That is a good enough rainfall to create street puddles, to create just little areas that are going to accumulate a lot of water. That is going to be, something just to keep an eye on. If you have any plans for tomorrow or whatnot, you're just going to have areas that are prone to carrying those puddles. They're going to be around the area for the morning for sure.
We have Adrian Rodriguez asking a question. He's asking actually for, I guess, during the day. He's saying, should we be expecting any rain during the day?
Oh, I love this. I was actually going to talk about this as soon as we were done with the whole information of the squall line. Tomorrow is looking like a beautiful day. I know that we've had rain Friday night, now Saturday night, and I think it's funny that we get rain whenever it's a big weekend here in Del Rio, when it's a holiday or whatnot. But it looks like tomorrow is going to be perfect. Let me go ahead and just kind of give you an eyeball, a little bit of what we can expect tomorrow. Just give me 1 second. So tomorrow we are anticipating, relatively windy conditions, nothing too crazy, just like maybe about what we experienced today, maybe winds around 25 miles per hour. But cloud cover is going to diminish by the afternoon, and we are going to see sunny skies. It's going to be completely amazing tomorrow. So I know that right now the rain is really, probably causing some problems, if you are, outdoors or planning something. But tomorrow we are expecting a beautiful day by the afternoon. Just going to have to deal with some rain puddles here and there around the local area.
We got a couple comments coming in. Vanessa Fuentes is saying, thank you for the updates. Rain is slowing down by Buena Vista. Erica Christina is saying it was so hard, the rain was so hard that she could barely hear you on full volume, but it's starting to slow down a bit in the Lions Park, and she's camping in a tent. Thankfully, no hail.
I like to say that Del Rio has a lot of warriors out there, and roughing the elements. We were actually out there a few, seems like a few hours ago. Just seeing what people were doing. I love the tradition of camping out in Easter, seeing families doing all those events. Really awesome thing. If you are out in the camp area right now, really glad to hear you're safe, and appreciate you tuning in as well. It looks like rainfall is beginning to push on through into the Laughlin area, Laughlin Air Force Base. You are now feeling the heaviest portion of the squall line. There seems to be even a return of a pink radar reflectivity, indicating maybe some possible small hail occurring in Laughlin Air Force Base. Let me go and look at that right now.
And before you say that, Delvin Bronson is saying no hail to report on the north side of town.
Okay, thank you for that information. Looks like maybe some small hail beginning to move through around closer to Laughlin, maybe some small hail around Valverde Estates. But like I said, if you looked at our last image, I don't know if you can pull that up, Will.
Yes.
In that last image, the last image, this was actually around Southern Del Rio, around a little bit toward the winery. It was a real pea-sized hail. It probably, as soon as it landed, probably lasted maybe about 2-3 minutes, completely went away. So this is the type of hail that you would probably be looking at if you are getting any hail at all. Nothing to prompt any, severe thunderstorm warning or whatnot, but just something just to keep in mind of if you don't want any, type of, thing getting damaged or whatnot. But that's the kind of only hail that we're looking at, even if there's any at all. Right now, it's mainly going to be heavy rainfall for the local area. And that's what we're looking at. Appreciate that. Thank you.
We got a couple of comments coming in. Alexa Martinez is saying that the winds in Valverde are strong. And Froilán is saying, well, there's only the wind in my city, and I can see the thunder in the distance in the direction of Del Rio. And Lala de la Cruz is also saying that the wind is picking up in Valverde.
So wind is going to be increasing. As you can see, Del Rio, you are now beginning to be on the back end of this squall line. This squall line needs to be pushed through. It needs to move on through to the rest of the state as this cold front is going to be sweeping on through. And with these back winds, you are going to be hearing them all night, and they are going to be with us tomorrow. The cool thing about this is that humid, sticky feeling that we felt the last couple of days, it's going to feel amazing tomorrow. It's even going to feel just comfortable to be out in the sun. So that wind is going to be with us for the next, few 24 hours, I would say. And rainfall is going to begin to move on toward the east. Let me go ahead and kind of zoom this out as much as I can. See where Brackettville's at. There you are. So Brackettville, you are going to be next. You are the next city in line that's going to be filling this squall line. This squall line right now is roughly, give me 1 second.
While you're doing that, Alexa Martinez is saying that she lives towards Gateway and she can hear the wind pretty bad. And Lala de la Cruz is saying close to the water tower, the wind is pretty heavy, I assume.
So Brackettville, you are about 17 miles away from filling this squall line. This squall line is anticipating to weaken as it gets to you. As it continues to move more toward the east, the upper level dynamics are not as good as they are around Valverde County and the northern portions of us. So you are going to probably get some light rain, moderate rain if lucky. Hoping that this line maybe holds on through if you are hoping to get some good rainfall like we experience here in Valverde County. But you are roughly maybe about 30 minutes away from filling this line moving on through. Winds right now are going to be relatively high as the system exits the area. But the good thing is that there's nothing to worry about as far as anything severe, anything, tornado related, none of that. It's just going to be the system getting in to push on away from the local area.
Got a couple comments coming in. Beverly Garza is asking, is there any more rain expected after this line of rain goes through? Anastasia Elizondo is asking if we are still under a tornado watch. And Savannah is saying it's not so bad anymore by the airport.
So right now, as far as rain after this line passes on through, as soon as this line passes on through, we have no rain at all behind this line. The only thing that I was going to say is there could be, let me try to zoom in as much as I can to kind of show you. There could be some feeder showers at the end of this line, back end, very on and off. But as soon as this system moves on through, we should be seeing that dry air beginning to move on through. But right now, I would say on the back end of the system, you probably have about 30-40 minutes, maybe an hour of on and off showers, if they are even around your local area for sure.
So we do have Derek T. Hildebrand who says he left calm skies at 822 and then on his way to Shane's for a last call. Next thing he knows, it came down heavy. Where can he get some weather text alerts?
So weather text alerts right now, we do not have that for Connect Del Rio nor on Del Rio weather. But you can follow Del Rio Weather Alerts on Facebook, and you can also follow Connect Del Rio CDR24. I do post often on Del Rio Weather, and being a meteorologist here at CDR24, I do do live coverage on this whenever we do have any sort of events. So you can always be weather aware here. But I do want to say something too, is I always want to make sure that you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. Whether it's here, if you are here, we appreciate your trust in me and our community, in our company as well. But also too, go ahead and check the National Weather Service. Go ahead and check your local outlets as well, just to have multiple views of what is going on around the local area, just to make sure that every part of your questions are being answered.
And we just got quite a few people thanking you, Erica, Christina. Thanks so much for for being up so late, keeping us informed. Very much appreciated. Paula Smith, thank you for the live updates. Crystal Valdez, thank you for all the updates. And then going into another comment, Sabrina Gutierrez is asking, will the storm hold up into Eagle Pass? And Belinda Sanchez is saying it is hard raining in Valverde. And our CDR24 morning news anchor, Michelle Gonzalez, is thanking you for the live updates. It feels a lot cooler outside, and she's asking, will it stay cool into tomorrow morning?
So rainfall right now is beginning to this squall line begin to exit the Del Rio vicinity. And as far as looking at the Eagle Pass area, let me go ahead and kind of zoom out on this side. We're going to have an opportunity of getting some sort of rain. As you can see that this squall line is beginning to push on through, it is beginning to create some showers from this outflow boundary that's beginning to push on through. And you are going to have an opportunity for some rain as well. Now, are you going to get as heavy as rainfall as Del Rio had? It doesn't really look like that right now, but rainfall may be a picture in Eagle Pass, but that's probably going to be within another hour or two, and that's even to if these showers and storms hold on through.
Okay, and we do have some more comments here. Melinda is saying that she's very impressed. Thank you so much for the detailed information and updates. Great job, everyone. God bless. Mari Carmen is saying thank you for the live updates. Jesse Brijalba, thank you, Alex. Alexa Martinez, she has the Weather Bug app, and she follows the Del Rio weather page. Very helpful. Thank you, Alex. And looking into more comments, Belinda Sanchez, it stopped in Valverde. Froilan is just thank you for this report. It was very accurate, even though she's in Mexico. This helped her a lot to have more accurate forecast. And Sabrina Gutierrez is saying thank you.
And once again, I always love saying this. It's an honor to be your meteorologist here for local area, being a local kid. I'm always wanting to do this. I love it. So I appreciate you guys, watching, appreciate you trusting us. And our goal is always to keep you weather related, updated, whether it's, as thunderstorms, severe weather, heat, winter weather. We got you covered here on CDR24 as well as on Del Rio Weather Alerts, always. Yeah. Do you have any last minute questions? This system is beginning to move on through. Looks like that threat is beginning to diminish, and we're probably going to be ending our live in about maybe another 5 minutes. So if you have any last minute questions, please send them our way. If you have any pictures or whatnot of anything, please send them our way as well.
We do have one question. Adan Fuentes is asking if it is going to hail. I don't know if you want to talk on that a little bit.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. The hail threat for Del Rio is completely over. That squall line is already passed away from Del Rio. It is on its way to Brackettville. I want to see if it's going to hold on through, as you're starting to see it begin to weaken more as it's moving more to the east, and that is expected. A lot of San Antonio outlets were even wondering if this squall line was even going to make it to the city. But right now, there's no hail threat at all for Del Rio. Maybe some few showers lingering in at the back end of this system, but as far as hail, everything's good. I know I had a question from Michelle earlier too, asking if if the humidity and all that was going to be away and we're going to feel a relatively nice day tomorrow, absolutely. Tomorrow looks like an amazing day. I feel like, we've kind of, roughened the storm literally on Friday and tonight, but looks like Sunday is going to be amazing. We're expecting a great day tomorrow.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and take this one last question. It's Acuna related, and she's just asking, Belinda Sanchez is just asking if there is a tornado watch in Acuna.
So the tornado watch is gonna be. Give me 1 second, kind of show you a little bit. Right now, the National Weather Service has the tornado watch in Val Verde County and in Edwards County and the county above us too. And now I'm assuming too that's gonna include the local areas away close to Del Rio too. But with this system moving on through and this cold front moving on through, I can assure you that any severe weather threat is over already. This was our only shot of seeing a possibility of severe weather. I'm anticipating that the National Weather Service, as soon as this line moves on through and clears on through, is going to be canceling the tornado watch for Val Verde County. So we appreciate everyone following this live broadcast. I know that this hour and a half really flew on through, but this is exactly the vision that we anticipate, providing for you in the Del Rio area and in the Cunha area, as well as in the Bracken and Eagle Pass area. We appreciate your time, and this has been meteorologist Alexander Menchaca. Y'all have a great night and have a great Easter, and God bless. And also to just give a shout out to our sponsor, that's going to be Val Verde Regional Medical Center, Comfort Tech Service Now, and Russell True Value. We appreciate all that you do for our community, and we thank you for not only helping us promote our vision here, but providing the area with information that it needs for the local area. We thank y'all, and y'all have